Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back for another episode. Before we start the new year, new episode, I would like to say a big thank you for those of you who may have liked, shared, subscribed, followed. Thank you so much. And my sincere prayer for each and every one of us this year is that we will get to live our lives to its fulfillment the way God intended. So today we're going to be talking about seasons. I know some of you may be asking, what happened to your hair? It got pruned. And that'll be next week's topic. But this week, considering it's also like a new year, I was just reflecting on plans and seasons and starting new beginnings and everything that comes with New Year resolutions, reflecting on last year and everything like that. So I felt it was quite apt to talk about seasons and see what we can learn from our garden and our plants in terms of maximizing our seasons. And in my reflection, one of the things that crossed my mind, I came to understand and realize, and like it just popped, is more or less the idea of plants understand and they thrive in their seasons. So with seasons, still the question is more or less understanding the times. So it's what season am I in? That's really the question that goes with it. But the scripture that will be guiding our topic for today is from Genesis 8:22. And it says, as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. So, like I said, reflecting in terms of life and all, like a garden or like life, or garden and life, anyhow, they both unfold in seasons. There are different times. There's a time of growth, there are times of rest, there are periods of pruning, there are periods of waiting, there are periods of planting, there are periods of harvesting, there are different periods. And I've come to understand that if you get time to understand the season you're in, it allows you endure, enjoy whatever you may going, whatever is attached or comes along with being in that season. Just like plants, you can't rush growth. The same way you cannot rush a season. You have to navigate the season and embrace the rhythm that comes with each season. I think the most important thing there is just really the idea of trusting God that each season serves a purpose in terms of us living our fulfilled life, really. And I was also thinking again in terms of reflection, what plants, what can be in your garden that actually can demonstrate the idea of seasons. And strawberries came to mind, and it's really interesting how things just tend to align, because one of the things we're planting this year is strawberries. And strawberries, what I like about strawberries is they're evergreen over and over again. Once you plant them and take care of them, they come up and spring up every year. So with strawberries, you realize that the first year a strawberry is planted, it's more of root development and healthy leaves. It may produce some flowers. It may like bottom line, when you're growing strawberries, don't expect fruit in its first year. It's usually more practical for it to come in its second year. That's really how it is. And as time goes and the roots of the strawberries mature, the plants produce more consistently. And that's really how it goes. So, like, imagine you plant something and you don't even get to eat the fruit till the next year. You know the fruit is coming. You understand the season. You don't expect a harvest on the first year because you understand the season, understand the plant, and know that it's actually going to be the second year before it's coming out. So you can't rush. No matter how much fertilizer you put on a strawberry while you're growing it, it can't outsmart its season, or it can't outgrow its season. So it's just the idea of reflecting in terms of life and season where you are, embrace where you are, understand that it's for a period and it's going to go full cycle. That's really just the idea with how with how what's what with how plants go. I said in terms of when looking at seasons, one of the things I've learned is that seasons teach patience and resilience. Even when you things like when you sow a seed, you don't see anything. It takes a while until the seed starts sprouting. So same thing with life. There's sometimes in life when things may feel stagnant, unproductive, uncertain. Understand that those seasons are not wasted. There's something brewing. I God is in control and doing something that you don't even know what's happening, what's coming in. And it's just the idea like with let me put it this way. Imagine putting a plant in winter. No matter how much sunlight you put to the plant, no matter how water you put to the plant, no matter how much you do to the plant, it will not grow. So there are some things that you need to know that yes, a plant responds to this in its own seasons. And that's what we need to do in terms of what do we need to do to ourselves and for ourselves in each of those seasons. And what we need to understand, even the season of I said, season of waiting, planting, sowing, harvesting, there's a season for everything. And then we need to learn in times of our challenges, in times of our joy, in time of our sorrow, in times of our excitement, all those seasons contribute to the fullness of a fulfilled life. Remember, seasons come and go, but God's care for us remains constant. Trust the rhythm, embrace the cycle, and know that your growth is unfolding exactly as it should, as long as you're doing your own part, what you need to do. Remember, we talked about the idea of when you're planted, what do you do in that space to make sure you grow properly? So now, if we're going to look at the 5 steps to understanding and embracing your season, and the step one comes with observing your season. I know most of the time with the first step is always like some self-reflection or some work on your end. But the thing is, take an intentional time to reflect on the phase you're at in this season. And you can break it into different categories. You can check your spiritual life, you can check your family life, you can check your career wise, you can check your professional development. Because the truth is, everything will not necessarily be at the same season. You cannot be planting at every time and every season, every aspect of your life. So take one, like maybe group it. Let me just for shits and giggles, just go group it. So you go with family, go with health, go with your spiritual life, go with your community relationships, go with your career. Let's just go with those 5, and then break it down and do observe the season you are in. Yeah? Acknowledge whether it's a season of growth, whether it's a season of harvest, if it's a season of waiting, if it's a season, what season it is, just note it down. You can write, you can journal, and meditate on what season you're in now. Because the idea is if you understand what season you're in, then you can then determine what you need to do to move from one season to the other and to optimize the season you're currently in. Step 2 is to trust God's timing wholeheartedly. And I said it before, understand that every stage has a purpose, irrespective of what the phase is. Now, if the phase is a not so happy phase, understand that you're going through something to make you a better person. If it's a happy phase, enjoy it knowing that preparing for whatever phase may come in afterwards. And the same, let's even go with the idea of with planting, for example. If you're in your harvest phase and you intend to plant next year, when you're harvesting and you're enjoying your harvest, you will not eat your seeds. You remove your seeds because you understand that this is harvest season and planting season is coming again sometime in the near future. So that's really it. I know I'm jumping for to one of your step 4, but that's really it. Step 3 is to nourish continuously. Like growth requires constant care, even when it's not visible. So do the positive things that help you. If you're going to reflect on scripture, if you're going to read, if you're going to pray, have positive habits, everything is continuous and consistent. You don't become all that in one day. You don't achieve your goals in one day. It's continuous nourishment that gets you to where it is you want to be. If you say you want to start eating healthy, for example, it's not one healthy meal that is going to make you healthy. You have to a series of healthy meals, consume a series of healthy meals over a period of time before you get to that, okay, fine, I'm eating healthy. That's the same thing with everything. Consistent nourishing for you to go through the season, enjoying the season, and benefiting for the season. Now, step 4 is, I think I jumped in step 2, but it's the idea of reflect and learn. So with every season, there's a lesson. And I tend to be an optimistic person. So I just go with whatever thing I'm going through, even through my seasons of planting or my seasons of waiting, I must find a silver lining. Oh no, I must find a silver lining. I don't believe anything not so nice happens without a reason, without something to learn from it. So that's it. Just reflect and learn. Identify patterns, identify victories, identify areas that need improvement. Then just reflect and consider how God has used past seasons to shape your life. It's more sometimes when you pause and you look back and then you reflect, you then see, okay, fine, oh, now I get it. That's why it actually went that way. Oh, that's why things went that way. So just take time out from time to time to do that. Then step 5, jumped again. But step 5 is preparing for next season. And that's really where the idea of planting, harvesting, and removing your seeds before eating the fruit comes in place. So it's still the idea, whatever season you're in, prepare for the next season. I'll use work, for example. If you're in a career and you're looking to grow or get promoted to a management position, start preparing for it, start planning for it. What would you want to do if and when you get the promotion? It's not when you get the promotion you start thinking about it. You prepare. Preparation is what makes it easy for you to 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 thrive in the new environment or in the next season. So prepare. The season is coming. It's a cycle. It's coming. So do what you need to do to prepare for that. And yes, I have come again with your homework or your action item for this week. So for this week, take one intentional action. Remember those 5 areas I broke out? Take one intentional action in each of those aspects that match the current season. I'll elaborate a bit. If you are planting, start something new. If you are growing, nurture what you have. If you are waiting, reflect and prepare with trust. If you are harvesting, give thanks and steward the fruit well and prepare for your next planting season. I always say this, keep your actions small and faithful. The idea is small, tangible. Don't say, oh, you're doing everything all at once. No, like you want to lose weight, you go to the gym for one day and go and exercise for 2 hours instead of exercising 30 minutes every other day for the week. Pick small things, start small. Anything you want, start small. So start with that. And then also always stay connected to your creator. God will show you and guide you in terms of what your seasons are and understanding why you are in this season and preparing you for what your next season will be. As we wrap up, just a reminder, and our reminder is taken from Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1, which says, there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Thank you so much for joining. If you like additional resources, please feel free to reach out. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, and do have yourself a wonderful day. And once again, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026.